healthy food. I still will buy like some junk food. You know what I'm saying? Like just for those days that you could easily like, okay, my best example, and I know a lot of people don't like it, but hey, DiGiorno pizza. Like when those were on sale, I would buy a couple so that like the days like that, I could just pop it in the oven, let it cook, get some fries, pop them in. You got a little meal on the side. You just don't
Yeah.
want to eat. So if your budget is tight, that's better than like eating out. But I would just have money to the side. Like I just always have a little bit of money for the random days that you don't want to cook and you need
Okay.
to eat.
Would that be the same thing for like the going out budget or the extracurricular, more or less the same thing?
It depends on the person. So for me, I like to separate that, but I actually have a client right now that does not want any of that separated. So everything is together as far as like his entertainment, fun money, and eating out is all one line item for him. So he has a set amount for the month and he loves it. You know what I'm saying? But for
Yeah.
me, I like it separated because I'm just like, I want to know how much I'm spending on this, but that's the
Yeah.
accountant in me, you know? So
Yeah. And you do accounting work for clients as well? See,
we're going there. Yeah, we're
okay,
going there.
okay. Is
That's the
that
next
including
step.
taxes or no, it's more just
Yes,
budget?
I actually am doing taxes. I
Oh,
finally went back.
okay,
Yeah, I finally
okay,
went back. So if you need your taxes done, holla at me.
okay. So that's a whole nother conversation that we need to have. And you deal with business and personal taxes as well too?
So I'll do like LLC, like small business. I haven't started back with the corporate yet, but
Okay.
that's
But
the plan.
LLCs you could do.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So now, what programs do you suggest for the people to use? Excel spreadsheet? Is there any other programs that you suggest?
So so personally, so I use everything, but that's me, right? So
Uh,
Excel is fine. If you're a Excel person, great. If you are an app person, I'm really big. I really like personal capital. I also like Zeta if you're married. Zeta is really an app more so if you're in a relationship, but I still like the interface. I think you could use it without being in a relationship
Zeta,
because
ETA.
Zeta. So I
Okay.
think their website is askzeta.com. I really like them because they also will send you stuff like every week, like tell you what you spent money on and things like that. I also like Mint, but nothing's wrong with Mint. I just kind of like the
Doesn't it
interface
cost
of
to
Zeta.
permit?
Unless they just started, I have a
It's
free
free?
account.
Okay.
Yeah. They may have some add-ons. You know, companies are starting to add add-ons, but I have a free account. I haven't seen anything about it costing money.
Okay.
Um, Mint is cool. Sometimes they get on my nerves too, but Mint is cool. But I like a clean interface. So mostly I like Personal Capital. Now Personal Capital, I will say they are an investment company, like investments first.
Right.
So they probably will like try to reach out for like to see if they could work with you for investments, but they're really good at tracking your spending, how you spend it, and that's free. So you could just use that particular side of their app and website to see where you are. And I like that they pull in everything. So I get a good idea of my net worth using them. But then also I use pen and paper. It
Mm.
depends. I actually use them all together. It's very strange. Like I said, I think that's the accountant in me. But if you're looking for apps, love Ask Zeta. If you're looking for something easy, Mint is also really good. But I like Ask Zeta's interface. It's very clean. It's very easy. They pick up when you have bills and ask you if that's a bill. Like they notice stuff, and that's what I like about them.
Okay. Okay. So we have Mint, have Ask Zeta, and we have Personal Capital.
Yep.
Those is the apps and the programs that you suggest.
Yep.
Okay. Now, your planner. Let's talk about it. I know you have a planner, right?
I have a financial toolkit.
Toolkit, excuse me.
Yep.
Can we talk about that? Can you
Sure.
tell the people about that, and let's plug that, the toolkit.
Okay, so I have the Financialdemics Financial Toolkit. It is Excel based, and basically what I have on there is I have a paycheck budget. It is broken out no matter if you get paid monthly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, or weekly. You're able to use the toolkit and then, or the paycheck budget, and then it will total how much you spent for the year. So if you use it, you can get an idea of how you truly spend for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I also have in there like a bill tracker. I have a net worth tracker. It also includes a debt tracker and calculator. So the calculator actually will, if you put all your debts in there and then you decide how you want to pay your debt, so either by snowball or avalanche, it'll actually just automatically put it in order for you. So the snowball method is if you want to pay your debt off by smallest debt to largest debt. And then the avalanche method is if you want to pay your debt off by highest interest rate to lowest interest rate.
Okay.
So I had it built where it will calculate either one for you. So it's not something you have to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else is in there? I also have an expense tracker in there. I'm really big on the expense tracker, especially when it comes around to budgeting, because a lot of times people are not exactly sure what they spend their money on. So the expense tracker gives you a chance to sit down, look in your account, look at your credit card statements, and figure out what you actually pay for so that you can go ahead and build all of that into your budget. Because to me, I feel like people are scared of budgets because they feel like it has to be perfect or it's restrictful, but it's not really. It's just really giving you the freedom and showing you where you plan to spend your money. All it is a plan. It doesn't mean that, something is wrong if the plan doesn't work out. Plans don't work out all the time. The largest Fortune 100s, Fortune 500s have budgets, but it's really you sitting there figuring out, okay, this is how I plan to spend my money, and then determining how did you really spend your money and what adjustments you may have to make. Sometimes it's just that, you don't realize that, oh, I actually spend this much every month. Or like I had another person who realized they had a lot of money left over every month. They thought they didn't have that much money, but they actually did. But it's because they didn't have a budget, so they were just swiping their debit card.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Most definitely. Shout out Lavish and Looney, Miss Moneybag, what they do. Black Lotus, y'all already know what it is. When do you suggest people should start investing?
I like for you to have a foundation. So how you were talking about how you were building this house or a castle on sand, like you need to have a foundation. So I don't care if you necessarily have like debt and you start investing. But what I do care about is if you don't have a savings. I truly believe that you need to have a savings before you start investing. Now, the savings amount I feel like is up to you and your situation. So for me, I believe like as long as your emergency savings is at a point that you are comfortable, because everybody's different, right? So like somebody who is in like a high demand field, they maybe can work with like a savings of 3 months because they know they can find a job quickly. Whereas somebody else who is more specialized, they may need 6 to 12 months. So as long as you're at a point of comfort, then I'm fine with that because I know what I'm comfortable with, but my comfort level and your comfort level are different. But
Absolutely.
have something because from working in investments, I used to be licensed, I used to work in investments, and I realized like people would call in, they would invest money. So I'll just use an example. They'll invest like $5,000 and they're like, yeah, I invested. And then like a week or two, they're like, oh, I need my money
Yeah.
because this and this came up. And then like maybe the market went down, so now it's not five, maybe
Yeah.
it's 45, and that's an issue. Like they're like, no, I need five, I don't need 45. Where's the rest of my money? And
Yeah.
so the fact that you have to pull your money back out quickly is a problem. So have enough money where that if something comes up, you can cover it. But once you have a funded emergency fund, I'm happy with that. But again, like I said, emergency funds for me are based off of like what career you're in and how quickly it will take you to recover.
So we looking at between 3 and 6 months, depending on what type of job and career and industry they're in and how much they're making. And
Yeah, because like for me, I like 12.
okay,
But that's me,
so we're gonna
right?
say 3 to 12 months of savings, emergency savings before you start investing is your
Right.
suggestion.
Right. And like I said, it depends on your situation completely. My 12 came from me being a single mother. I'm married now, so I should shorten it. But
Um,
it's a comfort level.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
whatever makes you comfortable, I just don't want you to come back looking for money when you don't have it. And the same thing happened, nothing against Bitcoin, but the same thing happened with Bitcoin. A lot of people I knew invested in Bitcoin and they were trying to figure out how to get their money out and because they needed it. And I was like, but you weren't, if you didn't have it,
yeah.
like you shouldn't invest it. So you have to really like be in a good place. And it depends on the person. Like I keep saying that because it's like if I see your finances, then I can say like, okay, you need 6 months because you have all of these things going on.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Um, are there any shopping tips, deals, apps that you have for the people? And if I'm
um
getting too much into the
no no no
podcast or the client consultation, let me know.
no
But
no
you know, like
no
I said, I was prepared today. Today I'm
no no
excited.
no no I look, this is stuff you can find on my website.
Okay.
So um so apps that I use when shopping, love eBay. I use that to no end. And if you shop online, you should have the Chrome extension. You should also have the app because you can use it in store at certain stores. I love the Honey browser extension also. Um, Retail Me Not has a extension and an app, so I like to use them. I use Ibotta when I'm grocery shopping to get my money back, and Receipt Hog is really good too. And with Receipt Hog though, I would say that if you do download it, go ahead and try to set it up because sometimes they're accepting people and sometimes they're not. But
Okay.
they'll give you your money back on certain items that you purchase. Um, the Dash app, I still love the Dash app. I know people was iffy about the Dash app, but I like the Dash app because I don't have to really think about when I'm shopping. If I'm using the card that I have attached in the app,
Uh,
I can get money back. And like so for example, if I'm gonna use Dunkin' Donuts because I just know right now in my area, Dunkin' Donuts is one of their offers. If I go and swipe my debit card, you have to swipe it as credit. So first of all, I'll say that because a lot of people don't realize that. If you swipe your card as credit using the Dash app, and then like in minutes, they're giving you cash back. So whatever percentage it is, you're seeing that amount hit your account. So I really like them.
does
And
that work
then
with grocery stores or just eating out like Burger King and Dunkin' Donuts and stuff?
I shouldn't say it doesn't work with grocery stores. I normally get credit for them like at certain little eating out places, but then also like they do online. So like you can get discounts. I think I've seen like Sephora and Old Navy, places like that in the app before too, that I've gotten credit. And most of the time, like when I get the credit, I'm not even looking because I didn't even realize it. It just so happens I swipe my card and then they send me the money.
Okay. All right. So we got a Honey Browser, Dosh, Ebates, and Receipt Hog as
Yeah, I
far
feel like I'm
as
missing somebody. I'm missing someone. But yeah, I'll send you a text if I remember the other one. I'm missing a company. I know I am.
okay, okay. And yeah, if you think about it, just you could go ahead and say it because my shameless plug, I started my little YouTube channel, it's Trey Snatch. So, you
Okay.
know what I'm saying? Just a little something. So all my Mindset Mondays, I screen record and I'll be uploading them on my YouTube channel. So, you know,
Yay. I'm
so,
subscribing right
yeah,
after this.
appreciate it. It's small, still growing, I'm transitioning, but yeah, so cause I realized I was like, you know, I've been consistent. Now it's going on about a year with these Mindset Mondays, and I didn't realize it. Like, I had so many dope guests and about so many different topics, and after 24 hours, it was gone. And I'm like, yo, I'm not capitalizing on the monetization of it, but also too,
Exactly.
what about if people, you know what I mean? People didn't catch it. You know, I have some people who work Monday nights or
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday night, and you know they not free until Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Well, they missed it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now it's giving people the opportunity to get this information. So I hope you're paying attention. If not, you'll be able to catch it on YouTube, because she's dropping major jewels with all these different apps, these different programs. Definitely. So if you're not following her, make sure you follow her, Financialdemics. You know what I'm saying? YouTube channel, podcast. We're going to get into that in a little
Yes.
while. I got a couple more questions for you. Okay. Now this is going to go into the podcast and everything, but how do you suggest parents budget for the children's activities? You know, sports, ballet, music, and everything like that.
Yeah, my kid has a line in my budget. Real talk. Like, and he's all, and I shouldn't say he's always, but it's been years that he's been in my budget. And so what I learned from all of these different extracurricular activities, they always cost a lot of money. And so if I give him a line for that, then I'm always saving for it. So that ended up being one of the savings accounts that I had, was for extracurricular activities. I also saved for summers, because summertime, like, when, if especially if your kid is like school age, putting them in a summer camp is more expensive than having them in like after school or however they came home. And so I would save all year for summers. Also, if you can't, so happen you can't save all year, but maybe if you do tend to get a refund, then put money aside just for your kid and have that in a separate account for all of those extracurricular activities, because I personally know they can get expensive, and especially, I had a boy, so he was doing a lot of sports, but I have friends with girls who do dance, and I heard dance is just ridiculous,
Mm.
as far as the cost. So you definitely want to make sure that you have money put aside. Like, I would find out how much it costs. That's typically what I did. So my son started playing basketball at 4. The year before, I knew he could play at 4. So I started looking to see how much did it cost, so I could have an idea, because I wasn't making a lot of money at the time. And I started putting money aside. So then when the season came around and he was old enough to play, I had money to pay for everything up front.
Okay. Okay. So start saving, and definitely, so basically do the due diligence of what they're going to go into, find out
Mm-hmm.
how much it's going to cost, put an item in there, and start budgeting and planning for that as well too within
Yep.
the structure.
And just
Okay.
make sure you're always putting money aside for them. And that's why I said my son always has a line in my budget, because even now he's in college, like, he's still calling to ask for money. So I gotta have money put
I remember
aside.
them
Like,
college days for
he
real.
he killed me earlier this month, because it was, the semester was starting over, and it's like, you need extra stuff, you need more food, you need this and that, and so I had to come out a lot more than I wanted to, but I just keep him in the budget, especially until he gets to the point where he's fully self-sufficient at this point, because otherwise
Okay.
I'm just be mad and annoyed.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's out the house now, so you have some more time freed up, and well, I ain't gonna say some more money freed up in a sense, because it can kind of be the same
Kinda.
amount as expensive as far as food if you help and contribute to the rent and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Even though
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
government,
kind of. I thought he was gonna be out my pockets, but
yeah, he out your house, but not out your pocket.
right.
Okay, well, I'm gonna still ask you the question, but it kind of doesn't apply now that he's out the house. But how did you manage the time being a parent, and with the 20, everybody got the same 24 hours in a day, but you got, spending time for your husband, spending time to budget the bills, spending time on working on your business, spending time with your son, the extracurricular activities. how did you manage your time and budget time for yourself, if you will, in that whole context? Does that make sense, the question I'm
Yeah,
asking?
it does. It was hard. It definitely was hard. There was definitely a little bit of conflict with that because trying to like, work full time, run a business, especially when my husband came around, that was like another person, and then my son. What I tried to do was I tried to like give my son once he was a little older, they don't want to spend too much time with you. So he would like get his time in and then leave and go to what I call the dungeon, which is his room.
Uh,
Um, but if he came out, what I tried to do was give him a little bit of time. And then, once he went back, then I would go back to work. But typically, what I would do was when working, I would try to get up early. I didn't really work before work. Like I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I work on my business before work." Not me. I'm not really a morning person. Well, it's weird. I shouldn't say that. I get more done in the morning, but I'm not really getting up to do work in the morning. So I would do a lot of work on my commute. I commute into the city, so like I'm commuting, I'll do work then. On my lunches, I would do some work, and then on my commute home. As far as my husband goes, like we would set up some time, or we would try to give each other a little bit of time. Um, and so it sometimes I have to eat it. Like if I had a plan and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this, and this done today, which most of the time is unrealistic. I would say try to pick like maybe three things you can get done. But if you're working full time and you have kids and stuff, one thing. If you could get one thing done, I think that's best. But sometimes I would have to eat it because he wanted to spend time with me. And so I couldn't keep neglecting him because when I heard it.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
and I don't like tension in my household. So, I would try to balance that time out. Time for myself. Whew. So, I would try to at least take like an hour or so for myself, or 2 hours like a week for myself. Most of the time I'm kind of hiding out
yeah,
if I'm doing it. Like, my husband doesn't really sweat me too much, so like that was cool. But normally I'm hiding from my son. Uh,
yeah,
even as he's older, I'm hiding out. So like I'll be in my room and I'll just like do a little bit of pampering or just kind of like rest because I tend to have the personality to go go go, and I'm a night owl, so I'll
yeah,
easily be up to like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, pop back up at like 6:30 and go. But as I'm getting older, my body is like, nah, that's not working anymore. So I just say you have to kind of like block it out. And sometimes if you're working on something, just if even though it's like you're going and you're in the groove, sometimes you just gotta stop and give that attention. And then
yeah,
like when everybody goes to sleep, you can kind of get it in. And normally I just depend on everybody to go to sleep. So
yeah.
that's why like between like 10:30 and 2, I can get a lot of work done.
Okay. Wall Street Dream says, "What's the topic? We talking to Financialdemics. We talking about budgeting. Now we're talking about budgeting time management in for yourself. But we basically talking about the beginning of the year, starting a budget, what apps to use, what plans to do, how to structure your budget, and time management as well for yourself with everything else that you're doing. So that's what we're talking about. Now, going back to what you're saying, what I found for myself is I started waking up super early, like 4:35, like really with no alarm clock. I homeschool my daughter, but when she wakes up, she usually wakes up about 7. Once she's up, it's a wrap. It's a wrap because it's daddy, 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 right? So I try to get my stuff, a lot of stuff done in that period of time, like between 4 and 7 ish, because 9 o'clock we starting our schoolwork, and with the whole getting a structure, trying to get my stuff together. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now we got a structure. Before I was kind of freestyling and I was doing pretty good, but now we got a structure in place. 9 o'clock, let's get the schoolwork going, whatever the case may be. So my time is like, that early in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because by the time the whole day, for me personally, by the time 6 o'clock hits, 7 o'clock hits. Dinner, I fix dinner for her and different stuff like that. I'm dog tired because I've been up since 4 in the morning. I probably
Exactly.
done slid to the gym. You know what I'm saying? I still done got some workout in, got my little meditation, got some, focus work, whatever the case I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
whatever I got going on. And so that morning time for me is the best because, 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, yeah, I
You're
may be
done.
up, but I'm through dealing. Like, I'm trying to get her to sleep, and, I'm about by 9 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock, a lot of times, I'm done. If I am up, I ain't worth too much.
My son was younger and it was just me and him. Like by the time I was strict on his bedtime because I wasn't up as late, but like I used a little bit of time after his bedtime. But I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm trying in the new year to go to bed earlier. So I'll let you know how that goes, and maybe I can get up earlier and do work. But in the mornings, I'm just like, if it's cold, at least in the winter, if it's cold,
Yeah,
I can't
you
get
in
out of
New
my
York,
bed.
so that's kind of crazy. But like for me, like now I wake up, no alarm clock. My body is programmed. You said love to connect, things from a financial standpoint, DM. We available, can get with us. You know what I'm saying? She's taking on clients, I'm taking on clients. She
Yep.
have the CPA, the taxes, the budgeting. She have a financial toolkit. She does consultations
Wait a
as
minute. We're
well
not
as
at the CPA yet. Later
okay,
this
not at the
year, though. We
CPA.
will be done. We will be
Okay,
done later this year. I'm
okay,
claiming
we
it.
okay, we looking for that definitely. But
Yeah.
yeah, we accessible. We accessible, royalty. We definitely accessible. So hit us up most definitely. Um, yeah, but it's different. Some people aren't morning people. Some people are night people. So
Mhm.
it's whatever. But for me personally, I started just waking up, and now it's like with no alarm clock. Sometimes 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm just up, like I can't, and I try to go back to sleep, you know what I mean? But I just laying in the bed, so I'm like, well, I'm up, so let me just get my day started.
What time do you go to bed?
It varies, but on average, I say between 9 and 11, give or
Okay.
take. What
I'm
they
gonna
do,
try.
is what they do, Queen Jasmine. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations on your new young king. You feel me? I know he getting big. She just had a boy. Congratulations.
Oh,
We gonna,
congratulations. I'm a boy mom.
yeah,
I'm
congratulations.
all for
Yeah,
kids
we're gonna
though, the
have to,
babies.
and she's an author as well too. So I'm gonna have to reach out, get her on one
Okay,
of the
Jasmine.
things too. Yeah, she does wonderful books. She's been an author for quite some time. Um, okay, so any parenting tips for the parents that's on there speaking, no pun intended or whatever, you feel me? She's a parent now, I'm a parent. So any parenting tips because you successfully got your child out of the house and into college. So salute to you. Congratulations for that. That's a major accomplishment. So
It is.
for my daughter's 5, you know what I mean? So
Oh, that's the
any
fun stage.
I, I
I would say I kind of like the teenage stage a little bit, but the attitudes I can't. But I like them around that age.
I mean, it has its pros and cons. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was a normal structure and we didn't, let's say, see as much of each other, I don't want to sound like an
No,
a-hole or whatever,
you
but
no, you talking to the right person on that.
yeah, if
I
we didn't
understand.
see as much of each other, then it might be a little bit more fun. But for the fact that I'm with her all the time, like literally
Yeah,
all the time, homeschooling, like I can't shake this chick. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally can't shake this chick, right? So it's like, it can get a little cumbersome,
yeah. I
if you
understand.
will. You see my
I
choice of
understand.
words, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to sound like a way, but
No, 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 no. You don't. I completely get it. Because me and my son, I tell people like there are probably going to be some people like offended on the podcast because the way I call him the kid, like that's my term of endearment for him. And we were the type like if it was like today is MLK Day, so we would typically be home all day, and like half the day he'll look at me, I'm looking at him like I need to get away, and he's looking at me like, can you drop me off somewhere? Like he was ready to go himself. Like he was like, this is not what we do. We
see,
just
that's the thing. Like, that's the thing where you was like, oh, that's the fun thing. at 5 ain't really no dropping her off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's like, yes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are we going to do today? And you know what I'm saying? Now a new thing is like, yeah, I'm just feeling a little bit bored. Like, is it my job to entertain you, chick? Like, is the lights on? You know what I'm saying? Do you have a roof over your head? You know what I'm saying? Check this out, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you bored, Jack. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things to where it's just like, oh gosh, so you know, we're gonna go to the park again, or you know what I'm saying? And I live in a small town, so it's not so much to do. So after a while, it's like, how many times are we gonna go to the same things? You know what I mean? So it kind of gets cumbersome at times, you will, you know?
That's gonna be the word.
Yeah, yeah. You know?
Parenting tips. So actually, I dropped this in the first episode of the podcast. So y'all go check out Single Moms on the Money. But I truly believe, like, when I was pregnant, so I got pregnant at 18. I had my son at 19. Was I 19? I think I was 19. Yeah, I was 19. So I had my son at 19, and my mom gave me this article from this columnist, and he basically said that you should have your kid operate around you. Like, don't operate around your kid. We are typically programmed to, like, okay, what is our child doing, and then like we schedule everything around that child. But you should schedule them around what you're doing, which might be a little different for you. Like, you might have to change a little bit because I know you homeschool. But what it does is it builds some sort of independence, and it also teaches them how to do things for themselves. And so, like, for my son, I will tell you, I was not the parent that was like, oh, you have to go to college. I had told him very early on, he didn't necessarily have to go to college. You just have to have a plan. But he told me early on he wanted to go to college. Well, that's because he saw me in college, because I had him while I was in college. So he saw me after I had him doing schoolwork, going to school, you know, doing this. So that was his thought process. Like, that's what I want to do. But for me, I was just like, just have a plan. Because I don't believe college is for everyone. And so because I made him operate around me, like, he's learned so many things about how to do certain things for himself, or just knowing that there's different options. And it makes life a little bit better for you as the parent. I know a lot of times we don't think of ourselves first, but if you're happy, your kid is happy, and your kid feels your vibe. So I'm sure if you're not happy, like, your daughter knows. She may come into you, even at 5, like, what's wrong? And you're like, how do they know I'm upset? They know. They can read everything off of you. And so I'm just big on, like, operating, having that kid operate around you, not you around the kid.
Okay. She's not at the stage where she is working independently. We still working on that per se, because I give her something to do and try to go do my thing simultaneously, and it's like I kind of got to stay on her or whatever. But we working on it.
Yeah, and you'll get there. Like, I'm sure my kid was not there at 5, but it was just kind of like me being able now to look back, I can see how it helped him. So sometimes we, like y'all working on the same thing or working on something at the same time. Sometimes that was me working on something and helping him a little bit, having to stop and stuff like that. But it did eventually help him figure out things on his own.
Okay. So plug time. So make sure you follow Financialdemics. She has a new podcast out called
Single Moms on the Money.
So make sure y'all subscribe to that. Y'all go check it out on all the platforms. Catered to single moms, which, you know, I feel the way, you know, because y'all always leave.
Look, you can come on in. Look, apply what applies to you.
It's always single moms.
I knew you was going to say something. I knew you was going to say
it was coming.
They do need something for single fathers. But come on in. Like, we got you. We'll look out for you too. Like, come on in.
Hey, boy, us kings can't get a bone out here these
No,
days.
you know
Wait,
what?
wait.
I'm at the top to Valencia. We might need to do an episode with single fathers later this year. Like, I think that'll be a good
I'll come
topic.
on. I'll come on there. I'll come on there
Yeah,
and chop it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with my daughter a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm with
I
my daughter.
see.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm with my daughter a lot. Okay, so we got the podcast. You
Hmm.
also have a YouTube channel.
Yes, it's called Financialdemics. Y'all go on YouTube. Please subscribe, share, and like. I'm doing everything on the foundations of personal finance. So we're talking about budgeting, paying off debt, building savings, and side hustles because I want you to get that foundation strong before you start trying to build wealth.
Absolutely. So y'all see the queen is multifaceted. She got her hands in a lot of pots. She's definitely a great resource, bringing a lot of value and information to the culture and the community. She have her toolkit available. She's taking on clients. She has her podcast. She has her YouTube channel. She also has her business. So make sure y'all support Financialdemics. Make sure y'all support everything that she's doing because she's bringing a lot of information. I'm definitely saving this live because she's went into everything from planning 2020, the structuring the bills, the food, to the apps for budgeting, to the apps for shopping. So she's gone into a wealth of knowledge and information on this live. I'm definitely going to save it. I also have a YouTube channel, Snatch. Everything is Snatch on YouTube. So if you don't catch this live in the next 24 hours, I have it screen recorded and it will be posted onto my YouTube channel. So make sure you check out this because she gave a wealth of knowledge, people. And this is the basics. You cannot build a castle on the sand. You want to have a good financial foundation as far as
Yep.
saving, budgeting, time management to begin. And through the course of the year, I'm going to have a lot of different guests on, and it's only going to get more layered and complex from here, people. You get where I'm coming from? So, I don't want you to catch it when we talking about S Corp versus C Corp and LLCs, and you feel what I'm saying, and authorized users and Black's Law Dictionary and administrative process. And when we get, you feel me, we got to start with 1+1, people. You feel me? So if you catch it in February, March, and we talking about, you know what I'm saying, RSIs and moving averages and stuff, you're going to be like, whoa, I'm lost, Jack.
Right.
This is why you need the basics right here. You need the basics. So that's going to be your Doshes and your Excels and your receipt hogs and your eBates apps and things of that nature. And I'm going to get into, before we even get into the acorns and the Robinhoods and the this and this and this and that, we need the basics. We need the basics. And that's why Financialdemics is so important, people. You get me? So make sure y'all go support her. Make sure y'all follow everything she have. Make sure you follow her Instagram. It's the same thing on YouTube, Financialdemics, and the podcast. Once again, what is it called again?
Single Moms on the Money.
Single
We
Moms on
we love
Single
you, Trey.
Moms.
Like we
You see, it can't
see,
even come out my mouth properly,
but see,
right?
that means you need to start a podcast for single fathers. That's all that means.
Single Moms on the Money. Single Moms on the Money. Make sure y'all go subscribe and listen to Single Moms
See, don't
on
act like
the
that.
Money. Single Moms on the Money. Anything else that you want to leave with the people? Any jewels? If there's anything that they could take from this live,
Yes.
from anything you want to leave with the people?
Okay, so we're coming up on tax season. I know a lot of people, get refunds. So if you get a refund, I know there's been changes because of the tax law, but if you get a refund, use some of that money to either start a savings, build your savings, or get ahead on your bills. You can also invest in stuff too. So if you're at that level, then go ahead. But use some of that money to propel yourself forward. So when I first really wanted to get my money right, I used part of my refund to get ahead on my bills. I didn't pay them. I just put them in a bill account so that anytime if I ever lost my job, at least I was a month ahead. So just go ahead and just, you know, put some money aside to save or to get ahead on your bills.
All right, make sure y'all use that refund to get ahead on your bills. Maybe you might want to use a little bit of that refund to book a consultation or get your toolkit from her so y'all can get that foundation going for the new year. You know, it's never too late, and that's something that else that she said. Just because it's the 20th of January, just because it's a Friday or whatever the case may be, it's never too late to start. You can start on a Saturday, you can start on a Monday or Sunday, whatever the case may be. It's never too late to start. So make sure you planning, because if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So let's go ahead and plan. Let's put this a good foundation on this blueprint, and we're going to continue to build on it. You know what I'm saying? That's what the pyramids stand for. We building something that's going to last far beyond us. You know what I mean? That's what we doing, leveraging our pennies to dollars. You know, so y'all already know what it is. Mindset Monday, another Mindset Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know what it is. Trey Snatch, Black Lotus, the brand, the lifestyle. You know what it is. If I got the merchandise link in the bio, I got new product.
I'm gonna have to get a sweatshirt, a hoodie.
Yeah, I got sweatshirts. I got the new sweatshirts, hoodies, the Gucci colors. I got the Letterman jackets now in there. I got some different color hats popping on. You feel me? So you know, if you go listen to the music, because you know I do music. You listen, go stream the music or purchase the music, purchase the merchandise. You support me. If you purchase one of the books or book a consultation, you invest in